in the morning, fire on the stove, love in a pie, that's the life we know. From the fields to the table, every bite it shows. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Mama in the kitchen, we never eat alone. Primarily me, the taste of home.
Primarily meal, pure, proudly Zambian, the taste of home.
What do we stand for? We stand for possibility, for the belief that every tomorrow begins with a choice made today. We stand for growth, for curiosity that pushes boundaries, for knowledge that prepares you not just to adapt, but to lead. We stand hands that don't just build, but uplift. We stand for experiences that shape you, for friendships that anchor you, for courage that carries you beyond this place. Here you become more than a student. You become a maker of solutions, a believer in dreams, a contributor to something greater than yourself. This is where purpose meets possibility. This is where futures are built. Charles Brook-Passar University, where you stand for what matters.
Hello and thank you so much for joining us, and you're welcome to the news on Prime TV2, the home of breaking news. We're coming to you live on Top Star Channel 110 and also streaming on our Facebook page, which is PTV2 Zambia. Now let's take a look at some of the stories making headlines. Lusaka's NYUMBA YANGA residents have called for immediate stop of ongoing construction works on land reserved for a recreation facility. CHILILABOMBWE District Commissioner Kelly JIBINGA has expressed concern over the rising number of motorbike accidents in the district. Republican President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA eyes hosting Borrowers Forum Secretariat after successful debt restructuring. And the United Party for National Development Media Director SIMUUWE defends President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA over delayed LUNGU burial. With the details, my name is Oswald Kafwanka. Some residents of NYUMBA YANGA Township in Lusaka have called on the Lusaka City Council to immediately stop ongoing construction works on land reserved for a children's recreation facility. The residents argue that the land was specifically set aside for recreational use and should not be developed without proper consultation and authorization. Meanwhile, Area Councillor Clement Milonge has confirmed that the local authority did not issue any approval for construction works on the disputed land. Namangolo Sokawanji has the details in the following report.
Some YANGA community members in Lusaka have been graced to a shock after a reserve land in the area that was unoccupied for several years has been earmarked for construction. Suspecting political party cadre activities, the residents, through their representative, are calling on the local authorities to immediately halt the ongoing works, suggesting that the reserve land can instead be made into a recreation facility for children in the area to keep busy and away from alcohol and drug abuse.
And it has been given to people, so we have protested. We want the national authority to tell us which people have they sold this portion behind me. Because they could have said, the people within this community, do you need this or not? They can't take it away from us and give it to others. No, we want this portion as the YANGA community. It's what we want. And nobody is going to have it. Whether they have got money or they don't know, we don't have money. We are fighting for this place. It should be for our babies, our boys. That's what they say, boys, they drink. If they have got nowhere to play, can't they drink or smoke? We want this portion to be for the YANGA boys and girls.
And area councillor for Lubwa Ward says council did not issue out any permission for construction works on the said reserve land and is therefore calling on the said individuals doing the works to produce documentation in order to prove the legality of their planned works.
Those people must have documents. If they don't have documents, they should not continue doing anything there. And I don't think they have the documents. But anyway, we may not know. I'm trying to find the day when I can meet with them. Why do they do it privately? They are there, another time they're not there. If they're really doing it and have the documents, we need to see the documents, if they have the documents, that is. But the bottom line is that those parks are recreational facilities that are kept for the people, and the people themselves must be able to decide what activities should be done on such places. Of course, for them to be pleased, because it's very well known that anybody else cannot go there unless approved by council in line with what the people want.
A visit on the site by the Prime Television news crew found preparations for the construction already done, as trees have been cut and building blocks have already been delivered. Reporting for Prime Television News, Namangolwa Mshokamanji.
Or in some more news, CHILILABOMBWE District Commissioner Kelly JIBINGA has expressed concern over the rising number of motorbike accidents in the district. Mr. JIBINGA has stressed the urgent need for joint efforts from the Line Ministry and other stakeholders to curb the trend, which has become a major source of worry for the residents. Meanwhile, CHILILABOMBWE District Health Director Dr. Chembo Shamilando revealed that the district records over 20 motorbike-related injuries weekly. More in the following report.
The streets of CHILILABOMBWE district are busy with motorbikes, a common sight in this town. For many locals, these two-wheeled vehicles are the go-to mode of transport, cheap, convenient and readily available. But amidst the convenience, a worrying trend has emerged. Motorbike accidents have skyrocketed, putting a strain on the district's healthcare system. District Commissioner Kelly JIBINGA is worried on the matter.
There's a lot of I don't care attitude, especially on the young ones that are riding these bicycles. They're riding the bicycles with a lot of fun. They don't seem to care about the lives they are carrying. And the worst part is these bikes are putting all road users in a lot of danger. So we are all at risk. Whether you are driving your own car, don't think you are insulated, because this same motorbike will just cross-cut into your way and cause an accident where even vehicles will be in that story of the accidents.
The numbers of motorbike-related accidents are now hitting over 20 cases every week, according to District Health Director Dr. Chembo Shamilando.
Most is the motorbike accidents. That's number one. Just over this weekend, I kept receiving calls of motorbike accidents because we have a lot of motorbike accidents.
This, to the District Health Director, it has become a source of concern as it becomes with a negative aspect on the healthcare services.
And as a district, we don't have an orthopedic surgeon as well as a general surgeon. We don't have. So we are recording in a week, it's over 25 motorbike accidents, and we are referring to Changa. So it's on a daily basis, and that is our consumables are being, we are utilizing a lot of consumables and fuel also.
But for the bikers, they have their own way of defending this.
Accident na yafura yakwati manje ngorea yakwati urenda baisa fefine baemba ubabika kwachi bayiko mwana mukurusha chino ubutuke yakwati kuntashimukuri abantu wapunko muntu wabe.
Reporting for Prime TV News, Derek Chitiamba in CHILILABOMBWE District, Kobot Province.
Moving on in the news, Republican President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA has expressed the country's interest in hosting the Borrowers Forum Secretariat as a leading country to have undergone a successful debt restructuring process. Now, the head of state was speaking when the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development UNCTAD Secretary General Rebecca Greenspan paid a courtesy call on him at State House. He says Zambia is now on a path to development after the debt restructuring and calls for harmonization through the UNCTAD to enhance e-commerce, to cut delays and reduce irregularities. Well, I was at State House earlier and forwarded in the following report. As Zambia shifts its focus towards accelerating economic development and boosting national productivity following a successful debt restructuring process, President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA says the country's growth strategy will be anchored on investment, production, processing, marketing, and sales, with value addition as a key driver. The president said this when officials from the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development UNCTAD paid a courtesy call on him at State House. He emphasized the need for greater harmonization of systems to enhance e-commerce, reduce delays, and curb irregularities in trade processes.
We want to make sure that e-commerce takes root, digital platforms take root in what we do, not just to deliver efficiency in services to our people, governmental, but private sector, transactions, interactions, platforms, revenue collection. All of us must be anchored on digital platforms, e-commerce. And we will also cut out delays, but also negative vices, where human interaction, takes place. There will be some appetite to do wrong things. But digital platforms, I'm not saying they're shielded from those things completely, but they do help us to basically reduce those negatives.
President HICHILEMA has also expressed Zambia's interest in hosting the Borrowers Forum Secretariat, noting that the country is well positioned as a leading developing country that has successfully undergone debt restructuring.
The Borrowers Forum is important to us to exchange notes, because even the residual debt we have, we still want to deal with it properly, because it's still a burden. So this forum is important to us. And given that we took the lead ahead of many countries, we would like to host the Secretariat here. We are not shy to say so. And we hope to get your support.
Meanwhile, UNCTAD Secretary General Rebecca Greenspan commended Zambia for positioning itself as a strategic regional trade hub, citing the country's demonstrated economic progress and growth trajectory.
Zambia is a country that we have been following very carefully. It's a country that has land-linked advantage. We have done a study on the critical energy transition minerals that is very practical, very down to earth, in collaboration with the private sector, with your experts and ministries. And so we have really very specific recommendations based, Mr. President, on what is happening in Zambia.
Also at Kafuanka, Prime TV News, Lusaka. You're still watching the Prime TV2 News, and we're coming to you live on Top Station 110 and also streaming on our Facebook page, which is PTV2 Zambia. Just now we take a break, and still to come, the United Party for National Development Media Director SIMUUWE has criticized individuals blaming President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA for the delayed burial of the 60th Republican President Edgar Lungu. This and more, stay tuned.
the life we know. From the fields to the table, every bite it shows. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Mama in the kitchen, we never eat alone. Primarily me, the taste of home.
Prime Mill Meal. Pure, proudly Zambian. The
Well, thank you for staying tuned, and we continue with the news. The United Party for National Development UPND Media Director Max SIMUUWE has criticized individuals blaming President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA for the delayed burial of the 60th Republican President Edgar Lungu. Mr. SIMUUWE says the delay has been occasioned by the former First Family, who have challenged a court decision that granted the Zambian government authority to repatriate and bury the late former president. Now, speaking during a press briefing in Lusaka, Mr. SIMUUWE urged citizens to support President Hichilema's position on the burial matter, stressing that the head of state is acting within the confines of the law. Mr. Lungu died on the 5th of June 2025 and remains unburied 8 months after his death.
United Party for National Development Media Director Max SIMUUWE is urging citizens to support President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA on his decision concerning the burial of late former President Edgar Lungu, stating that the said decisions are in accordance with the law, both Zambian and South African, which aim at giving the former president a befitting and dignified send-off.
Edgar Lungu was not an ordinary citizen. He was the head of state. So, by conduct and by dignified send-off, interest from the state to ensure that the right thing is done. To start with, from the legal standpoint, confronting the various pieces of legislation that we have, including the burial site for former head of state, which is a creature of statutes established by the law.
Mr. SIMUUWE has therefore condemned those that are blaming President Hichilema for the late burial of the former president, stating that the delay is being caused by the former First Family that have since challenged the court's decision that granted the Zambian government the right to repatriate and bury the former president.
So we need to leave President HH out of this. He has done over and above. And we call upon well-meaning Zambians to rally behind the government. We have also heard from our colleagues who are assuming that the decision by South African police was only undertaken after the African mining in Daba. Is it President HH who told all the presidents to convene in South Africa? For you to assume that when HH went there, that is when now the South African authorities acted. South Africa was hosting an international function. President HH went there to attend as head of state.
Mr. SIMUUWE has urged the opposition to desist from unfounded criticism and instead applaud government on the recent improvement in electricity supply to citizens, the salary increment, and the performance of the dollar, among other achievements. Reporting for Prime Television News, Namangolwa Mshokawanji.
Now, in some more news, civil society organizations in Western Province have urged citizens to take keen interest in the ongoing delimitation process being conducted across the country. Speaking to PTV2 News in Mongo District Center for Democratic Governance and Research Executive Director Prince Mayamba said there is need for citizens to actively participate in national civic processes. Mr. Mayamba has particularly encouraged women and youths to take part, noting that their involvement is critical in shaping inclusive governance and representation. More in the following report.
Various civil society organizations from selected districts in Western Province have gathered in Mongo District today to discuss the amended constitution and electoral reforms. In 2025, the country underwent constitutional amendments and electoral reforms with the passing of the Constitution Amended Bill No. 7 of 2025. The aim was to strengthen democracy by addressing legal inconsistencies, enhancing representation, and improving electoral transparency, recognizing the lack of understanding among citizens. Civil society organizations in the province have organized training sessions for the district leaders, including women, people living with disability, and youths. Prince Mayamba, the executive director for the Center for Governance, Democratic and Research, now explains further.
We are holding training for the following district, that is Congo, Kalavo, Senanga, Limulunga, Nalolo, and Mungu itself. And then the purpose of this training is that these participants, we call them district lead, they go back to their district to disseminate this information. We are explaining how the proportional member representation system will work out, and also to do with the delimitation. As we are aware that the country is currently undergoing through a very critical stage of governance in the electoral process, and then how are citizens taking part in the process of delimitation. So we are encouraging the civil society organizations, faith-based organizations, and the community members, the citizens out there, to take part in the delimitation process.
The participants have shown appreciation for the knowledge gained and have committed to sharing it with others.
This program has helped us very much to understand what we need to do as person with disability, and also how we can be engaged and be included in participation in politics. So from the time when we came here, I think a number of issues have been shared, because we've just been hearing about Bill 7 without even knowing what is really involved.
It is empowering us in making sure that we understand that which has been contained in the so-called constitutional amendment, so that as we get to understand it, we now put it into practice and be able from that to be able to provide checks and balances as we go towards preparing ourselves for election, during election, and thereafter.
The youths are calling on their peers to take on active roles in governance to contribute to the country's leadership.
What I've learned, or what I'm encouraging my fellow youths, is to participate in civic matters for them to stand a better chance of being appointed.
A lot of our youths, women and those with disabilities, do not have the knowledge on how they can participate. So my main encouragement is that let them participate heavily at part level so that they are included into civic matters.
Western Province is currently undergoing the delimitations process, with at least 4 constituencies expected to benefit from this process. For Prime TV News in Mungu District, Marcus Bransakwita reporting.
We're still watching the Prime TV2 News, coming to you live on Topstar Channel 110, and also streaming on our Facebook page, which is PTV2 Zambia. Now let's take a look at our African proverb of the day, which is in Silozi from Western Province. Take a look. Well, quite insightful there. You, our viewers, are also welcome to send in your proverb in any local language translated into English with a meaning also included. You can send this to ptv2@ptv2zambia.com or ptv2zambia@gmail.com. We continue with the rest of the news. Now, the National Council of Students' Unions, NACOSU, has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Junior Chamber International aimed at strengthening international youth participation and development initiatives. NACOSU chairperson Mijelo Jizombe says the partnership serves as a blueprint for youth inclusion, ensuring the young people are actively involved in programs designed to benefit them. Meanwhile, Junior Chamber International President Sydney Ngandu says the collaboration reflects a shared commitment to nurturing potential of young people, and that the partnership will focus on key strategic pillars, including community impact, business development, and international cooperation.
Today, the exchange of signatories here is not just an ordinary gesture, as is ordinary practice. Allow me to indicate, Comrade Ngandu, to our students across the country through the media, that today is more than a signature, but a blueprint for youth inclusion going forward. And furthermore, to remind ourselves that there will never be anything for the young people minus them being part of it. And today, the National Council of Student Unions and the entire team, together with our partners JCI, have deliberately decided to be part of the creation of a sustainable future for the young people of our country. I will not belabor to repeat what earlier speakers have alluded to, but to just place a gentle reminder. And that gentle reminder being that now going forward, JCI, with your international activity, we are looking at the enhancement of participation for our students in international programming.
Now, this moment represents more than a signing of a memorandum of understanding. It also represents a shared vision, a shared responsibility, and a shared commitment to the development of young people across Zambia. And our nation stands at a defining moment with a youthful population and growing academic institutions. Zambia possesses extraordinary potential, and this potential alone cannot create progress, and it must be nurtured, must be guided, and must be given an opportunity. That is why this partnership is both timely and necessary. Through collaboration with NACOSU, we are focusing on strategic pillars bordering on individual development, community impact, business and enterprise, and also international cooperation.
That news item brings us to the end of the news on Prime TV2, the home of breaking news. But before we go, let's take a recap on the stories that made headlines. LUSAKA YANGA residents have called for an immediate stop of ongoing construction works on land reserved for a children's recreation facility. CHILILABOMBWE District Commissioner JIBINGA has expressed concern over the rising number of motorbike accidents in the district. Republican President HAKAINDE is hosting the Borrowers Forum Secretariat after successful debt restructuring. And finally, the United Party for National Development Media Director SIMUUWE defends President HICHILEMA over delayed LUNGU burial. Thank you so much for staying with us. For these and more stories, you can like our Facebook page, which is PTV2 Zambia. My name is Oswald Kafwanka. On behalf of the entire news crew, it is bye for now.
Early in the morning, fire on the stove, love in a pie, that's the life we know. From the fields to the table, every bite it shows. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Ain't alone. Primarily me, the taste of home.
Prime Meal, pure, proudly Zambian, the taste of home.